would not advise you guys to do this in active traffic, but I live in a small town outside of a big city, and I'm going into another small town. So it's just a one-lane road for almost an hour. Pretty much one lane the straight way. So today I am having a pretty difficult day. It's like that. I gauge my days on difficult, horrific, traumatic, and that's unfortunate. The last couple of years I've been living pretty transparent, pretty isolated. But you have to remember, for the most of my life, I lived my life internalizing sadness, depression, and on the outside, really being a nurturer or caregiver and an upbeat person, despite everything. I don't know if it's because I have gotten older or because of the pandemic or just really being tired mentally, physically, spiritually, intellectually. You can get intellectually tired too when you're around people who don't think for themselves or who don't think of anybody but themselves. But today is a difficult day for me. Yesterday was a good day, and it probably wouldn't have been a good day for other people, but I really celebrate small things and appreciate them. I would be happy to not get a bill in the mail. I would be happy to find a quarter on the ground, or just to get a good night's sleep. You know, I celebrate small things because I live life waiting for something amazing to happen to celebrate. As a child, as a young girl, as a young woman, and it didn't come, and that was depressing. So I just started to celebrate small acts of kindness. They were big to me. Moments of peace, they were big to me. And today is just, it's so beautiful, but it's also gloomy, which is not normal for us where I live. I live out west. Some of you know maybe know where I live because maybe you join me on my lives and you recognize things or through my video. But I'm pretty guarded about that too. I'm not a paranoid person. I'm not paranoid. I'm not negative. The way that I act, the way that I don't act, the things that I'm willing to say and the things I'm not willing to say are all based on other people. So my protection of where I live is based on having my space violated by strangers, my privacy violated by strangers, and my trust betrayed by people that I know and love. I feel safe in secrecy, and I feel safe alone. Somebody asked me the other day during a little small conversation, they said, "Are you codependent?" And I said, "No, I'm not codependent because I don't trust people, because they have shown me that they cannot be trusted, and I don't attach to people easily until I feel that they're a safe space for me, and I don't feel that often. I find a lot of peace alone. I can't even raise children that are not traumatized by my trauma. I want to say that again. I try hard every day to raise children that are not traumatized by my trauma. I don't know if you guys can even hear this. I hope so. Y'all know I say I don't do no redos. It ain't no script. It's real life conversations and emotions and feelings in that moment, whether I'm by myself or if I have guests. This is what you guys are going to get. But I am driving a hybrid, so it's kind of noisy. It's charging itself and trying to conserve energy and make the world a little bit cleaner, a little bit greener. And the echoes of the wind passing over the car, or between the mountainsides. I wish you guys could see it. It's so beautiful, and sometimes for me it's overwhelming because it's just so beautiful to me. I love open spaces. I don't like the city. I don't like the city. It's so disgusting to me visually. It represents to me the worst of mankind and what we become. Disregard for the environment, disregard for each other. We become invisible to each other, whether it's not making eye contact with the homeless person on the street because you may have to help them. And literally, as I said that, guys, in the middle of nowhere was a man with a cart, a homeless man with a cart, in the middle of the mountains and the desert. And a tear was literally streaming down my face. At that moment, I saw him. But you know what? Seeing him here and not in the city, I believe that I have a little bit of admiration because he's free. He's surrounded by beauty and peace. And that's not something that all of us have, Today is an amazingly difficult day for me. But as I look back over my life, even into my childhood, someone posted a tweet and it said, I really miss how the holidays were as a child. And I wanted to retweet it. And then I looked back and I thought, I have one amazing memory in my head of Christmas. It was from my stepdad. My stepdad bought so many things, and he made Christmas just magical. We woke up and it was like Santa had really been there. And I remember that so well. And I think that was the Christmas maybe that my grandfather drove down. I'm not sure why he was down there, but my grandfather drove down. And it was one of my last memories of my grandfather being strong and healthy. He got pretty sick and lived that way for many years. But he was still the old cowboy that I remember from my early childhood. And his big belt buckle, and his cowboy boots, and his cowboy hat. It was a good memory. I don't know if I meshed two Christmases into one, but it was a good memory. And the last one, I remember a few days later, all of our stuff smashed. And just seeing it for a small amount of time, I don't know what happened to this day. Well, I kind of know now, but it didn't happen, I guess, while we were there, and everything was torn up. It's funny how people don't take into consideration how they can be the cause of beautiful, beautiful memories, and then be the cause of a traumatic event, or the way that they treat you, traumatizing you, and it negates person that gravitates to the beautiful moments because my brain stores so much information. I remember people. I'm horrible with names, numbers, but I remember details. I remember the way your face lit up when you speak of certain people. I remember the way your face expresses sorrow and pain. I remember the way people smell, their hair. The first time I see a little gray hair, I remember the dress that they wore that they felt beautiful in. I remember details like that, like directions in the tree that is on the corner of 601 Avenue F. And I remember the tree knots and what type of grass grew there. And a little snowball stand across the street. Those are things I remember. And I remember these things, I think, subconsciously in a desire to flood my brain with so many beautiful images and details and memories of people and validating them in an attempt to erase the trauma from my own memory as well. So you guys are not only taking a ride with me, but I want you to understand that so many of us suffer in silence. And we wake up every day to make other people's lives less painful, who don't appreciate us, who make us feel so unwanted and unloved. But we do it because it's where we find value. Listen, I know some of you guys find value in material things, and you find value in your education, and you find value in your looks and your social media popularity. You find value in being able to have people who love you and use them and hurt them. And some of us find value only when we can bring joy and peace to this world. It is not a joyous place all the time, or for some of us, it never is. I really kind of thought, like, what is my purpose? Why? Like, why? And so many people have come into my life in the last few weeks like messengers. Sometimes when I'm trying to communicate with people live, like one-on-one, I'm talking to you on the phone or whatever, I ramble. It's hard for me to express emotions now because my brain is always thinking, don't trust them. Oh, don't trust them. They're going to judge, or they're going to use what you're saying some way to violate you, violate your privacy, violate your memories, violate you for their own clout. And so I'm always just thinking, overthinking, protecting myself, thinking of an escape plan. And it's not a physical escape plan, it's a mental escape plan. Like, how can I undo this, sharing myself with someone. I don't know, like, it's just a hard day. I think it's just that there are boundaries I need to place, and I need to stick to it. And I don't mean stick to it for a couple of days and you unblock it and you remove these boundaries. I don't mean stick to it a couple of months, but you let that thing that you're trying to block come back into your life because they need you. There are times like now that we need to think about ourselves, okay? And I'm a hypocrite because I don't think of myself. things that I've been through. And I'm trying my best to raise my children and to not be traumatized by my trauma. So it's arrogance. It's my arrogance to say, I supported you. I loved you. I gave you my last when I didn't have. So this is what you should want to do for me. And I'm not talking about just, I have to tell y'all, I'm not talking about just romantically all the time, because I hate when somebody be in my business and they think that that's what, just, you can't speak of anything. The only thing that can be traumatic to a woman is romance, their romantic relationships. And I will not negate that that is not a big part of a woman's vulnerability, a woman's sorrow, a woman's trauma, or mine. But I'm saying that if you would think that my whole life would center around only that, then that would be the least of my worries, because I can stand alone. Okay? I'm a human being made to love and be loved. But I'm also a human being that is aware of the power and the peace that comes from solitude. You can be both. You can be both. So no, I've never been codependent. I wish I could be codependent. But for me, codependency represents a level of trust in mankind, humankind, whatever word y'all want me to say, that I don't have. And I lost as a very young child, actually. Being an empath and an intuitive, being somebody who just cares about other people and listens. Ever since I was a little girl, I was aware of it probably around the time I was 5. I would study people, their faces, their mannerisms, their tone, their voice. I would see what they said in front of other people, and I would study their consistency. I would absorb it. And I started to be able to tell when people were lying to me, on other people. I understood the intentions of their lies. Listen, there's some people that lie and they ain't trying to hurt you. They're just trying to keep you out their business or to protect someone else. We all lie. I'm not worried about them. There's some people lie for your destruction, to fraud you, to destroy your life. So I started to learn. A lot of people think that, I'm sure there are people who think I do things out of love, like, oh, you did this because you love me, or she a sucker. I've never been a sucker. I've always been a person that loves people. And I'm always aware of who they are and their intentions. But that doesn't dictate my intentions. Have I hurt people? Absolutely. Absolutely. I pray on it to not be the person that I have been in the past. Have I hurt people? Yep, sure. Y'all, I'm a smart-ass girl. I'm a smart-ass woman. And with that level of intelligence, and I don't want to sound no type of narcissistic. If you know me in real life, then you know academically that I'm very intelligent. My children are very intelligent. So that makes us a little more sinister. Have I hurt other people? In a way, yes. And for me, that's a thing that I'm working on. That this is my karma. I don't think it's been to this level, but maybe it has. And maybe this is some things that I deserve to go through. I play that in my head all the time. You know, like, you hurt some people. Is this what you deserve? That's a conversation I have with me and the Most High. So I'm working on that. I'm working on that. Like, oh, you should be punished. That has caused me to enter in relationships that I probably didn't deserve to be in. Probably shouldn't have been in. And friendships. It forced me to tolerate people that I shouldn't have tolerated. subconsciously I felt I deserved it or I didn't deserve better. I don't know, y'all. All I know is I'm driving through the desert and just really struggling because I don't enjoy life. I don't enjoy it. And it's not about, well, maybe you should travel, take a vacation, go see other cultures, travel out of the country. I did all of that. And I feel sometimes like I don't even want to be a part of mankind. Like I don't feel like I fit here. And I don't enjoy seeing so much suffering. I don't enjoy suffering. I don't enjoy seeing people hungry. I don't enjoy racism. I don't enjoy seeing so few morals. We think it's politically correct. And people are just doing anything to their bodies. Y'all say, you're finally being your true self. When somebody alters their whole body and you say that's your true self and we celebrate that. Your true self is loving the skin and the flesh you're in. We tell people that it's body positivity when what they're doing is killing themselves. Obesity is one of the top killers in the African American, Hispanic American community. But we see women and children 200, 300, 400 pounds and we telling them, oh, that's body positivity. When in actuality, most disorders, most obsessive behaviors, like overeating, undereating, self-harm, cutting, is based on trauma and hating yourself. People go under the knife to change their whole face, their whole gender. It's not based on being your true self. Your true self is who came out of your mama's vagina. But we live in a world where we can't even tell people it's okay to love yourself the way you came out of your mama's vagina. We live in a world where we tell an 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds to alter their bodies surgically to be their true self. To be their true self? Come on now. That's bullshit. So I don't know. I don't know. I just really don't find a lot of enjoyment. I don't know if there's a place I can go to. I've been to some of the most beautiful places in the world. I've been to the Amazon, y'all. A little old black girl from a podunk town in Mississippi. Been to the Amazon. Y'all been to the Amazon? Because I've been to the Amazon. A little old girl from Podunk, Mississippi, that met presidents, royalty, ambassadors. Okay? Y'all done met some royalty, some presidents, some ambassadors. And I done been in the gutter, y'all. Like the gutter. Like the gutter, like on the fucking streets. Homeless. Not in no shelter. Okay? Not in no goddamn shelter. Not sleeping on somebody's sofa or in their basement or with my relatives. I'm talking about on the streets. And it was no different, you know? I done lived in a place full of roaches, like it had them when I moved in. I ain't stay long, baby. And I done lived in homes that were $500,000 homes next to neighbors with multi-million-dollar homes. I done had something and felt like I was nothing. And I've had nothing and felt like I was somebody. obsessively and powerfully and all-consuming that years later, the man still ain't let me go. I just feel like my life is coming full circle. A little bit earlier than usual in my family. We usually live until our 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s. Unless a freak accident. It pretty much got to be a freak accident. I've done things that some people only dream of doing. And there are dreams that I will never, never, never be able to fulfill. Because time ran out. Or my body just can't do that. I never let fear stop me, though. Didn't let fear stop me. I've done things I was so afraid of. I saw a beautiful mountain and I wanted to climb it. Wasn't that big, but it was a lot for a new hiker, climber. And everybody else who didn't really even care was able to go up. And I started getting, vertigo. I think it's vertigo. And I said, that's not going to stop me. This is something I wanted to do. They don't even want to do this. This is something I want to do. It was a mountain I used to go on a lot by myself, but I wanted to go up on a little higher. And I had my kids and one of my exes with me. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to play video games, I guess. I didn't even know. That was just a whole weird relationship. And I said, this is something I want to do. And I literally, with the world spinning around me, crawled. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up here. I literally crawled over rocks and dirt because I couldn't stand. I don't know why. That happens to me sometimes. And I'm not afraid of heights by no means. I love to fly. I love flying. But I do get sick sometimes at certain heights and things start spinning. But I crawled. I literally crawled. I crawled. And I'm sure you know how the people in the city below or wherever from miles can see you if you're on a mountain. They're probably like, why the hell is this lady crawling up here? And I say that to just use that as a metaphor right now. Sometimes to get where you want, to experience what you want, you'll have to crawl. Can't turn back. You'll never get there. And the people around you might not support you. They might not even notice how important something is to you. You might have to crawl. They don't care if you're sick. They just care they did it. Look, I did it. They laughed. They went on off. They probably didn't even look back. Sometimes you're going to find yourself at the top of a mountain by yourself. No way down. You can't stay there. And the only thing you can do is go over it. You can't go back. You can go over it. And you'll be by yourself sometimes, driving around in the middle of nowhere in a podunk-ass town that reminds you of your hometown. Driving around aimlessly, searching for answers. Driving by this little old church. It's a First Baptist church. It looked like a little old church that'll be in my hometown. And sometimes you'll just have to do it, You have to just crawl on your knees. But I tell you what, when I got to the top, I was so overwhelmed with the beauty in the city down below and just how untouched that little part was. It might not have been a big deal to some, but it was a big deal to me. And sometimes you're gonna have to be a big deal to yourself. And that's where I am now. Like, am I gonna learn to celebrate myself? I'll always dumb myself down for other people. I let a guy ruin my whole freaking car, right? Because he said, oh, you can put diesel in the car, ain't gonna do nothing. I sit there, had to play dumb. Like, I done sit on the side of the road waiting for the tow truck to come and fix a flat when I knew how to fix my own flat, because I didn't want to demasculinize somebody I was with. Like, you don't even know how to fix a tire? Man, get the hell out of here. Let me do it myself. I cannot do that anymore. I've been with my friends, and I don't have friends now. I don't have no friends. I listen to vibes. Does that mean I'm not caring and loving and supportive? Does that mean that people don't give me words of encouragement? I take it with a grain of salt. I look at your intentions. I listen to vibes now. I listen to advice people give me. When people give me advice, especially relationship advice, like, how you gonna, they'll say things like, oh, you just be going through it. And I be thinking to myself, your man bust you in your head. Me and my ex just cry. Sorry about that if you're listening. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all giving me advice about what I need to do and what I don't need to do. And I'm like, you getting your head cracked in front of your children. Like, but the old me, the nice me, would be like, you guys, I'm gonna pull over at this park that I just came on. I better remember this. My kids might like this in the summer. But the old me would listen and be like, I mean, I won't never let nobody tell me how to do my life. I'm going to love who I want to love. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm just going to address you with compassion. But I'm still doing what I want to do. And sometimes what I want to do is for the benefit of others. It may not be the best thing to do, but it's what I wanted to do. My sincerity is without question. I feel like y'all trying to tell me how to live my life. You're getting beat. I'm just getting my feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I try not to give people advice. I tell y'all all the time, don't listen to me about no relationships. You want to listen to me about something? You can listen to me about some safe, long-term investments. Slow growth, high yield. You can listen to me about that. You can listen to my views about digital currency and why you shouldn't put all of your savings and investments into it. But when it comes to areas of family, love, that's your decision to make. That's your journey. This is a beautiful part. I mean, it's just not beautiful. It's like I can see that a child would really love this in the summer. It's like got all the splash stuff and everything. It's cute. But I would really, as you guys have noticed, really is something I say to gather my thoughts, which are always all over the place. And I don't know if that's a symptom of post-traumatic stress, complex post-traumatic stress, being an overthinker. And I don't like the phrase overthinker. Like, how can you overthink? I think most people don't think enough. But I'm just in a space of feeling otherworldly, like I'm not even supposed to be here. it's not a new feeling. I actually felt like that since I was a child. I was a very peculiar child on the inside. Externally, it's just a little adorable snaggertooth kid that all they does say was such a sweet child and so intelligent and behaved. And all of the other kids wanted to come over and play with me, wanted to spend a night at my house. And that was a foundation for who I grew into as an adult. But I was a traumatized child. I experienced a very traumatic event early on. And I will talk about that later. That's a whole different show topic. And I think that will be one that I want to share with other people who will come on and speak with me, because it'll help me bear some of the burden. These podcasts, I know, are growing in popularity because I see the analytics, and I appreciate you guys. I know it's been shared and it's being listened to, and you guys are listening to it in its entirety. But honestly, this is therapeutic for me. I said to myself, and I shared this on my Twitter, which I just got Twitter. I have been off of there for years, and I want to keep it positive. And I just kind of deliver things that I need to say in a probably a more soft, fun way. I've only been on there for a few days. But I said, I don't know if this journey I'm on is something that, a year from now, I'll say is a testimony, or if it's really like an explanation. Y'all don't take this no type of way. But an explanation, like, is this something I'm leaving behind to explain things, or is this something that will become a testimony when I'm wherever the universe wants me to be on this earth? I don't know. I really don't know. I know my body is tired, and stress, pain, it will destroy a lot of things. It can mess up your endocrine system. It will mess up your circulatory system. It can cause you to have not just emotional stuff like depression and anxiety. I never had anxiety in my life. I don't know if I absorbed that caring for somebody who suffers from anxiety, because of that I never had. I was never uncomfortable around people or driving or being talked to or touched. I hate when people touch me now. Like, I don't like that. And I don't like to be touched. I don't even like when my child pops up and hugs me, and I have to explain to him about boundaries. Sometimes I say, well, no, mommy's just not really comfortable right now. And I want to teach him early on about boundaries. He still want to hug me. He walk in, he see me crying. I try to cry quietly or in private. And so I talk to him about knocking on doors, respect, privacy, boundaries. Sometimes you want to show love and affection, but that may not feel like love and affection to the person. So, I've been teaching him that it's okay to ask someone how they're doing. But privacy is very important, especially to women, To men, too, I teach them boundaries about their friends. But they're not that touchy with their friend. They ain't in all that. Like, they're not a hugger of other boys. They never have been. They just don't desire to do that. They're not a hugger. They're more like, hey, bro, what's up? And they definitely got that from themselves, because my ex is not my exes are, I think early on I dated a lot of hyper masculine men. And then in the latter years, like dating men from a city called Kansas City, they were more sensitive, I guess. So the hyper masculinity in my sons is definitely not a reflection of their genetics. I don't know why they're like that. They're just boyish. They're very boyish. If y'all knew, you would probably think they should be running around, what are those little things running around blowing on daffodils and stuff. Not a little one, huh? he a little butterfly sometimes. But no, that comes from them. So I really want to teach them early on, respect boundaries. And I say that because I don't want to negate and say like, oh, men can't have boundaries. They can have boundaries. So everybody should be respected about, unwanted physical contact. So it's uncomfortable to me for people to touch me. And then there's some people who have such a beautiful, beautiful soul that it doesn't bother me. Like maybe about almost 2 weeks ago, I started driving Lyft. It was scary because I was like, Krista, I gotta have other people's lives in my hand, and I really don't want to do that. Like, I be driving on autopilot. Like, my brain just remember where it's supposed to go, but I ain't conscious of nothing going around. And I did it for a couple of reasons. For one reason, I want to go on a vacation. I want to go on a month-long vacation. The kids get almost a month out of school, and I want to go on a vacation. I don't know if I want to go camping or what, but I want to go somewhere away. And part of it was therapeutic because I've been very isolated for years. And it was easier because the few people in my life, they were okay with that. Then the pandemic hit, so it just all seemed normal to just isolate. And so part of it is therapeutic for me to try to do that. Like, I never had anxiety before, no matter what went through. Like I said, I feel like I absorbed it. Children do that. Like, there's a phenomenon of children who have autistic siblings mimicking autism and being diagnosed with autism and really not having it. It's just that was empathy. I started sucking my thumb because my brother was getting in trouble for sucking his thumb, and he was older. He's 5 years older than me. And I loved him. So I didn't want nobody to be mean to him. So I started sucking my thumb. And I was like 5 or 6 years old. That's pretty old for a child to start sucking their thumb. And then he quit. And then he was making fun of me, but I had already started sucking my thumb. And so I've seen it, in adults. There have been people who dated people with addiction, and then they ended up with an addiction as well, And so I don't know if I just absorbed the anxiety, because I never had that before. And now, so it was hard because the people get in, they want to talk. Sometimes they don't want to talk. I can feel energy. They want to talk, I don't talk. If they say something, sometimes I'll say a couple of words. And but I've been blessed, to be honest with y'all. I don't really drive in the town I live in, because them people, I don't know. Like, obviously I'm African American, and some of the most inconsiderate, non-tipping, bad vibe, bad energy can come from people that you really have the most, or should have the most connection to. But I've been blessed because the people that do come through, I don't drive at night. I don't really drive much. Yeah, like y'all, I'm so unmotivated for this. But I do drive a little bit. So I'll drive a couple of hours, and then, I may go home and work or something or whatever. I'll drive a couple hours. So don't think y'all gonna catch me on the road. You probably won't, because I literally probably take about no more than about 5 trips a day. If not every day, not even every day. I probably done drove like 4 days in 2 weeks, if that. So I say that though, but the people that came through were people that I feel, for the most part, that they were so cool, And a little old guy with a cane, I picked him up yesterday, And he was talking to me, and he gave me some useful information. He's an old veteran, Air Force veteran. And he's talking to me about his disability, how he got his disability, and like he was so excited because he had qualified for food stamps. And he's like, I didn't know that was something I could get. And he had dropped his phone when I went to pick him up. He was asking me, could I pick his phone up? He had dropped it by the house, but he couldn't bend down to get it. He was using his phone. He's so proud of himself for being able to use his phone. And she was just going to the grocery store, and his energy was so warm. When he got out of the car, he went to get out. He said, I'm going to leave you a $5 tip. He said, matter of fact, in a 5-star. He said, I'm about to do it now so I don't forget. And he laid me a $5 tip. And then he patted me on the shoulder. And he said, because you're such a sweetheart. His energy was so good that it didn't make me feel no type of way. So it was okay because his spirit was so good. Okay, so y'all, why am I at the park, right? I'm at the park in daylight time, right? This is daylight, I'm at the park. Tell me why a police officer just pulled up. I really think they need to understand that we got time today. So it literally is absolutely no reason to be at a park in broad daylight. He can see that I'm actually talking on my phone, right? Got the phone on my mount to harass people at a park in the daylight. Clearly, you can see in the car, there's nobody in the car but me. There is nothing occurring. It literally is absolutely no reason for him to even be here. But I got time today. I hope, please run all the tags you want, all that. I got so much time today. So much fucking time today. Like, I got time to video, post up, TikTok, YouTube, all that, baby. Please do not come over here and bother me today. And that's a whole nother subject, guys. That's another subject I want to talk about. Police and profiling in the African American community. You guys who do know me or who have followed me on any other type of platform, you got a little bit of a background on that's how I became partially paralyzed. So I got time today. Like, I got time today. This is not the scene you want. Not today, baby. So you guys, I just that just totally killed my vibe. Totally killed my vibe right now. So I may edit this end part off, but I probably won't, because y'all know I don't edit none. This one take here. But I hope you guys have an amazing day. We will discuss more on people who go through trauma and healing in silence. And you know, I will end it like saying this: there is help out there, and I hope to get to a place of I want the help, but I have to be comfortable. So I want to get to a place of making a conscious effort to find a form of therapy that works for me, that I will feel comfortable in. And we shall see. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me on this journey. Now I'm about to get off the phone and deal with this bullshit. Switch to my camera. Because you got to record these clowns. You got to record them in their harassment, in their whatever it may be. You know? Like, he don't know if them kids playing right there my kids or not. He don't know nothing. It's so much to do now. It is lunchtime. It's so much to do that they could be doing, especially in the town that I'm in now. The town that I'm in has a huge problem with heroin. Like, man, go harass some heroin addicts. You're over here on some bullshit. Y'all, you gotta laugh. You got to laugh. And now do y'all see what I'm saying? Like, even when I'm just in a moment of peace, I gotta deal with bullshit from, what's your patrol car number? 2154. I'm just saying that, y'all, so I can remember who I'm gonna complain about. But trust me, in this world, you'll go through a lot of things, and sometimes you'll have to deal with bullshit when you ain't even about the bullshit. You're just out there trying to live your life and find your peace and your purpose, or find a reason to even want to live. It's always something. And as I said, that the sun just came up bright in a gloomy day. So I got time today. Thank you guys for joining me for the Plus One podcast with me, Minxie, now available on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Facebook Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify Podcast, and a few others that I still haven't been able to remember as I'm reciting them. But I'm so thankful for the growing grassroots support. We ain't been paying for no advertisement. This has been all love, empathy, support, you guys. So please continue to share. Please continue to tune in. I do not go on every day. This is real. I come on when I feel inspired, or when I feel an emotional, spiritual, mental need to find my voice and to also be a voice. So I appreciate you guys. Also, he just pulled off. He just wasted his time. Like, baby, everything here legal. You want to come? You can't like, listen, everything legal. You just wasted your time. All that. Concealed weapon permit, all that. You were just about to lose your job, baby, for no reason. But you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. And as I always say, if you cannot find that magnificent dramatic moment, please try to treasure the small moments. Find one moment for yourself. Even if you have to pull over in a parking lot in the middle of a podunk town with a podunk police officer who ain't got shit else to do but come and disturb you. Try to find it. Listen, I'm about to celebrate the fact that the sun came up and out through the clouds. It was gloomy and dreary, which is just not something that happens here that much. And the sun is so bright, illuminating the car and hitting my skin, and the heat coming in. I am thankful for that. I am thankful for that. Just feeling that on my skin. I sat inside for months. Pretty much never really going anywhere for more than a few minutes. And that was if I had to. So to have the courage, or even maybe not have the courage, but do it anyway, jump anyway, to come out and feel the sun, to see my skin turn brown again, that's something. So you guys have a good Tuesday. I appreciate you listening this far.